My case project was developed for Shelby Baxter, who is a 10th grade English teacher at South Dearborn High School. Mrs. Baxter wanted to incorporate technology into her class project featuring Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. She asked her students to create a presidential campaign for one of the main characters in the story. Now, due to previous technology limitations, students would create hand-drawn posters for the campaign. Now, each of her 25 students has a computer at their desk, so I want to take full advantage of that. Mrs. Baxter also wanted to expand the project to include the use of social media to make it seem more like a modern campaign. Finally, Mrs. Baxter wanted to use technology to better serve her students in the creation of a campaign speech. This is the website I created for the case artifacts portion of the case analysis project. I used Weebly.com to make my website, and I really liked using Weebly. It was very easy and very user-friendly, so that was great. And I like having a website as my case artifact because it has everything in one place and students don't have to be searching all over the internet for the different things that I want them to have. So I'll show you what I mean by having everything in one place. Just by clicking on the Google Doc tab, students are able to find the note-taking template that I've created for them. However, if I had to make an adjustment to this, I would make this button bigger because it's supposed to be the focal point of this page, but it kind of gets lost in how big the videos are, so that's something that I would fix for later. In this tab are all the details of the main project that I want my students to create. So it's very detailed, it has all of the directions in here in one place, and it has the outlets to the different resources that I want them to use. I've also created screencasts here of the different parts of the project that might be a little more complex, so to help answer any questions students might come across. I also like having a review game section. I believe having a review game is very important because it allows the information to be given to the students in a different way that I think would be more beneficial. I think they'll retain more knowledge if they see it in a way that is fun to them. However, if I did have to make another adjustment, I would create my own review game. I found this review game online, and it's a very good one, and I like the way it's set up. But since another teacher created it, he or she might have been focusing on certain points that I don't want my students to be focusing on. So I think my students will be best served if I created my own review game. But other than that, I really like how this project came together. I had a lot of fun creating it, and I think it is going to be very good for the students when Mrs. Baxter uses it in her classroom. I wanted to use this screencast to show you the different features of the website. Now we'll get back to finishing up the reflection video. When I first got the case, I was excited because I had completed this project for Mrs. Baxter when I was in the 10th grade. I was eager to get started because I understand how important the use of technology could be in a project like this. I assumed it would be difficult to find an online poster maker, but that actually turned out to be one of the easier aspects of the project. I also knew that I wanted the project to be completed in groups instead of individually. What I think worked the most was the use of Google Docs in the form of a note-taking template throughout the reading of the story. Ms. Baxter has actually already told me that she loved this idea and will be using it as soon as I started reading the story. The Google Doc allows for online collaboration between the students and teacher, and that's something I think is really beneficial for both parties. One thing that I don't really think worked out very well and that I was able to fix was the use of the advanced software for recording the campaign speeches. I realized that it would probably take too much time to train students on how to use this advanced software, so I solved the problem by using a simple alternative in the form of smartphone voice recording. It's much easier to use and students are much more familiar with it, so I think that turned out a lot better. After completing the case analysis and case artifacts projects, I learned how much technology can enhance student learning. I believe I've created a great project for students to show off their technology skills. I also learned that it takes a lot of time to put together a project for students to complete. Teachers have to be willing to go the extra mile to give their students the best learning tools they can provide. And I believe I've done that with this project, and I'm very proud of that. My biggest strength in this project was having the knowledge of knowing where to look to find appropriate technology resources. We spent a lot of time in W200 researching appropriate technology resources for certain situations, and I was able to take advantage of that in this project. It was also great to have the support of Mrs. Baxter, Katie, and the ULAs during this process. I'm very grateful to have been able to complete a project like this because I believe it has helped me to become a better teacher.